Hi, in lesson 3, we created a Python part that can show the ballot, but it didn't get the input points from the users. In this lesson 4, I will show you how to get the user's input point. Firstly, we need to ask users to select the first point. We can do that with the CoordinateInput class. Here we can initialize the input for element or point. First argument is the coordinate class. The second is the InputStringConvert. For other arguments, they are in square brackets. It means they are optional. You can leave it at default. Call the coordinate input, then call the method. InputStringConvert with a string message as an argument. Run the tool and we can see the message for the input point. Now we need to get the input point if user click on it. There is a method to get input point in CoordinateInput class. This method needs mouse message, cursor point, and additional message information. All of these arguments we can get in the process mouse message method. This process mouse message will trigger whenever you do something with the mouse, such as move or click. Note that the result is the CoordinateInput result. We must call the method getPoint to get the 3D input point. Save it as a variable. That's good. However, we don't need to save the input point with the mouse move. We only need to save the input point if user selects point. To handle the mouse movement, we can call the IsMouseMove method. This method needs the mouse message. Then we can say if the mouse is moving, just return and do nothing. Here we know that user selects point and we can save the input point. Create a class variable to collect selected point. Append the input point to that variable. For strip version, we only need 2 points. We will check if user already selects 2 points. Then we can create the model. Then we reset the selected points so they can create the next version. Create the method to reset selected points. And show the message to input first point. Here we just need to call the reset method. If user only select the first point, we ask them to select the second point. Change the method to InitNextPointInput. That's good. We finished the process to get user input point and create the models. it asks for the first point. If you select, it asks for the second point. Select the second point, it will create a model. Actually, we didn't write the code for creating model, so it does nothing, but it asks for the first point again. With this process, users can create multiple predictions. One small problem here is that the second point do not relate to the first point. User cannot input distance from the first point to select the second point or use the track line. To do that, in the GetInputPoint method, we input an extra argument with value true. And the GetInputPoint now use the last input point at the reference point. You can also input the reference start point here. Now run again and you can see that we can use the track line or input the distance from the first point. However, the next first point will consider this second point as its reference point. This can be annoying. To fix that, we can do a simple check. If user select the first point one more time, the second point will use the first point at its reference point. Else, do not use reference point. Now, the second point is using the first point at its reference point. But the next first point will not use reference point. That's all for this video. In the next video, we will create the model and the preview. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.